Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are listening to us, we hope that it is good. And, oh, Jesus, Lee, I'm not even through the intro and you're already starting. For those of you watching the videos at home, Lee with his Philadelphia Flyer pucks, coasters. Those are coasters?
Those are coasters. Yeah.
Coasters, okay. Anyway, welcome to episode 46.
There's two of them, Ray. There's two of them.
Yeah, okay. We'll get into it later on. Welcome to episode 46 of Geeks Who Like Sports. As always, I am Ray Carcillo in Los Angeles, California, joined by my best buddy in the entire world over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who's got a lot to gloat about after this weekend, Lee Elias. Lee, how's it going today?
Ray, it's been an interesting weekend. Lots of things have happened.
Yes.
I'll start off with the bad news. The bad news is yesterday I was out on my lawn. I was taking care of the lawn, which I hate to do. My headphones snapped, Ray. So they snapped. You can see it if you're watching.
I see the tape. I see the tape.
And I was going to say that most geeks put tape on their glasses, but on Geeks Who Like Sports, we tape up our Beats headphones. They're still working, and I'm a little bit frugal. They're not exactly destroyed, so I didn't need to get a new pair right away. But, look, the Lee headphones have I think they met their match, and now they look lopsided on my head. And I'm here to tell all of you that is the worst part of my week. So I'm having a pretty damn good week, Ray.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I had these really sweet Mega Man headphones that the same thing happened. I remember. They snapped, and I had to get. Unfortunately, they didn't work after that, and so I had to get rid of them. So that was a very sad day for me.
The other thing too is, Ray, it's 60 degrees in Philadelphia today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's not LA weather, but it's nice. It's sunny.
Yeah, we're about 10 degrees warmer. It's going to be 70 here today and sunny as it continues to warm up. We had some rain yesterday, and that kind of cooled things off. But we should be back in the 80s by the end of the week. That's your Los Angeles weather report.
As I say, it's not bad for Monday, March 2nd, 2020 weather, as I make sure I know when we're doing this episode, so all of you do too as well.
Yes.
Monday, March 2nd, 2020.
Yes. Like unlike Joe Biden, we know what state we're in and we know what year it is. So, I mean, look,
we hope
for sure. But yeah, for those of you who are watching this at home, I have my I voted sticker on. I'm not going to, I will say, hate me, love me, whatever. I did vote for Bernie Sanders.
Wow.
But I'm not.
You brought it in. Now people are judging you.
Yeah, let them judge. Sides. But I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you, all I'm going to say is that tomorrow, if you're listening to this today, or if you're listening to it tomorrow, like it's Super Tuesday, and if you're in one of those states, get out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if Bernie's your guy, if Biden's your guy, if whoever's in the race. If you have a stake, if you have a horse in this race, and you have elections tomorrow, go out and vote. Exercise your right to vote. That's my PSA for the week.
So, Ray, one of a few things is happening right now. We either just tripled our audience size, whether they love or hate what you just said, or no one's listening now. I mean, I can see people in their car going, listen, he's just saying vote. If you're in a Democratic state and you have the right to vote in a primary, vote.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And obviously Republicans vote as well. I'm a registered independent, and Ray will know I am fiercely independent.
Yes.
And I will not talk about my political preferences on here.
Yes.
Ray has bigger guns than me, I guess, with that. But you should go vote. Go exercise your right to vote. Don't be one of those people that tells everybody your opinions and then doesn't vote.
Yes,
and
exactly.
If you don't think voting has any power, well, it's a free country.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think you should always exercise your right to vote. I vote in every election out here in California, even when it's especially the small local ones, because those are just sometimes more important than the big national ones.
Yes, we are very much in danger of losing everyone right now. Let's get back to Geeks Who Like Sports.
I'm sorry. I wanted to do that PSA. Yes. But yes, we have a big show for you guys today. It's a super show, you could say. We've got Star Wars stuff to talk about.
Super.
We've got NHL stuff to talk about. We've got the XFL Week 4.
Super.
We've got MLB Spring Training.
Wait. Super.
Yes, Super Spring Training. We have a great mashup for you guys this week.
Super.
That will tie into, of course, sports and also Star Wars. But we're going to kick things off this week with my favorite subject, video games.
Gaming. Super.
Yes. Yes, part of the reason I am an extra energy day, A, because I had coffee, but I needed coffee because I was up all night playing video games.
I can tell you've had a coffie. What?
Yes.
Who are you?
Yes.
Are you a clone?
Well, the thing is that for those of you who know, I'm not a clone. We'll get into that later. We'll get into the clones later. So I haven't been to sleep yet. I have been up since Sunday morning and the whole night through. I'm recording this on Monday morning.
This makes sense now.
Yes. So I'm not groggy because I have not slept.
Wow.
I was up all night playing the Mega Man Zero collection, which is the new collection of 6 games from Capcom. And let me just say this. Capcom is amazing when it comes to nostalgia. The collections that they've released over the years for their Mega Man series. Mega Man 1 and 2, Mega Man X, and then Mega Man Legacy Collection 1, Legacy Collection 2, Mega Man X Legacy Collection, now Mega Man Zero Legacy Collection. Very, very smart. Very, very well done. And I may have a problem when it comes to Mega Man.
For those of you listening, if Ray and I stop talking at any point in the episode, it's because he's had a coffee something happen to him, and I'm going to be calling an ambulance because you are hyped up, and I'm seeing it now. You really haven't slept. Look at this guy's eyes.
Yeah,
wow.
I haven't slept. It's been 24 hours.
So your brain is like the Curly poster behind you right now. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm super hyped up right now, and this is why I don't typically drink coffee, but I knew I needed it because. By the way, obviously we're drinking tea. I today have a video game mug. If you can see, Elder Scrolls.
Beautiful. Yeah. Ray's
Tankard.
going to read my mug out loud. Ray will read my mug out loud to all of you.
No one cares. Work harder. True. Very true. No one does care. Work harder. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing right here, right now. That's why I drink coffee. I'm working harder.
Right. Your words per minute right now is through the roof. Let me ask you something. Is this what you're like when you drink coffee all the time? Because I could use this to my advantage at multiple times.
Yes, this is why I don't drink coffee, because I don't need it, really.
There's not an ounce of pessimism in you right now.
No, not at all. But like, what'll end up happening though is that like in 2 hours, like that's what we gotta get. We gotta get through. We're gonna have a great show for you folks. It won't be a 2-hour show. We'll be all right. But in about 2 hours, I will crash very hard.
I don't want to talk to you then. I'm talking to you now.
Right.
All right.
Yes.
I'm doing the Mr. Burns thing. This is good to know, Ray.
Yes.
If you sure, Ray, it's tea.
Yeah. If you need a short-term super hyper energy boost, you can give me a cup of coffee. Okay. But I will crash like in 2 hours.
Last thing before we get into the first topic. Love that you still have your Jersey accent. We say cup of coffee. That makes me very feel at home. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Even though I'm in Philly. Okay, listen. Let me jump into this thing because were you done with Mega Man? I'm sorry.
I'm done with Mega Man, but a lot very big gaming news this week.
Yes.
The Game Developer Conference, because of events that are beyond our control in the world around us.
GDC, for those of you following at home.
Yes, GDC. It's one of the biggest events of the year in the gaming industry. It takes place in San Francisco every spring. It has been canceled. Major companies started pulling out left and right, and then finally the folks who organized it were like, you know what? We're gonna. They say postpone it until the summer. But I really think that that's a mistake. I think they just need to cancel it outright and then look forward to next year because
they're talking about canceling the Olympics right now in Japan.
Exactly.
Very seriously. And people are like, why would they do that? Well, here's the deal. And again, I'm not trying to stoke any of the flames about the coronavirus. It's serious where it is, and you should wash your hands normally. I think you got to live day to day with it and not panic. But here's the deal. Disease spreads when you get a lot of people into an enclosed space.
Yes.
And then they go back to their places. The Olympics or GDC, you have a lot of people from multiple countries. The Olympics, probably every country, coming to a small village to live together for a few weeks. Yep. Does not take much for that disease to get in there, and then all of a sudden you've just spread it around the entire world. Now, with that said, I don't want to say – I go back and forth on this. I don't think people should be panicking, but I also don't think people should be stupid. Right? It's just – it's out there. Know it's out there. It's the little individual things you do. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. That's what keeps things from spreading. A little bit of logic can go a long way with this. Because let's be honest, if this is the thing that takes us out, it's going to take us out. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Right? We can just, Ray flies to Philadelphia, comes to my house, and we'll just stay here till this whole thing blows over.
That's right. That's right, with Dr. Janet.
I live with a physician. You know, I'm still waiting for her to come home as a zombie one day. All right, but like, you know, if it's the apocalypse, we've had so many TV shows preparing us for this.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very ready.
All right. I don't watch Walking Dead anymore because it just lost me after 25 seasons and knowing that it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right. You know, we've played Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Nemesis, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil... I could keep going.
Yeah, and then they remade the Resident Evils just to remind us about some of them. Like,
there's a first-person Resident Evil game that failed miserably. All right, shooter. It didn't do well. That was back probably 15 years ago. Darn it. Anyway, The Last of Us. I could go on, okay? Yes. They're not going to make a game called Coronavirus 2020, although EA would do something like that. But that's not the point. The point is, it's a huge deal that this was canceled. But this is happening all over the world and all over things. You know, I saw a map. Ray, I don't know if you saw this, but it shows pollution emission, like in the atmosphere.
And China's gone super far down.
It's off. Like Chinese are not working on for obvious reasons. So I think this is very serious over there. Obviously, it's very serious over there. But there's no emissions coming out of China right now in terms of the environment, and they're the number one polluter on the planet. So it's that's how bad it is over there. But again, look, this is for me to you all out there is again, be aware of it. Don't panic. Don't live in fear of this yet, okay? When it gets here, if it gets here, I know people say it's going to get here. You got to go day to day. You got to be smart. You got to protect yourself and your kids, and that's the best thing. If we all do our own little part in this, things will be fine. Also, keep in mind when the sun comes out and people start going outside again, these things tend to dissipate a bit, okay?
Yes.
But just be smart. Just be smart, okay? Panic is not smart, okay?
Yeah, panic gets you nowhere. There's been a lot of...
Dawn of the Dead. I left out all of the Romero films. I left them all out.
Yeah, no, there's so many. There's so many zombie films, and video games, and
we're prepared for this. There's even a guide.
World War Z. It's like it's everywhere, right? It's and even not the zombie ones. There's the Division games, right, where it spreads about a disease epidemic. Doesn't turn anybody to zombies. It just kills them all. But like, But anyway, the point is, just be safe, be smart. You know, like don't
wash your hands.
Yes,
and don't touch your face. And if you're sick, stay at home. Oh, and last thing, I got to say this, okay? If you're a parent and your kid's sick, not with a sniffle, but if your kid's sick, please do not bring them to the school. Suck it up for the rest of us for a day. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a disease spread throughout a school because some parents just can't handle being home with their kid for a day. So they're infecting my kid. Keep your kids. Come on, man. Really? We should do that show. Really? Really? Real. Remember that on SNL?
People are dumb. Sometimes.
Well, no. A person is smart. People are dumb.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, great film. Men in Black.
Yes.
Okay, listen. So canceled, right? Can I move on to the next thing? Or you still want to talk about that?
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's a big. Okay. It is. I just want to quickly mention it is a big deal. Obviously, I
got
think
a great segue here. That's why I'm asking.
It would be very smart for them to just let it go. Especially this
smart. I absolutely agree with you on that.
This again, and then in this summer too, we got Evo, E3, QuakeCon, PAX Prime, Comic-Con. There's more than enough events, gaming events over the summer that to try and squeeze another one in would also, I think, actually be worse for the industry than just canceling this outright.
Look, they're going to cancel anything that. I'm not saying this I mean this. No xenophobia here, but anything that's going to have people coming from China, no matter what their race is probably going to be canceled at this point.
Right.
All right. There's nothing to do with
or Italy
Chinese,
or Iran,
any place. Exactly. Any
South
place
Korea, wherever there's been a major outbreak at this point of the virus.
And that should be two ways. They should not want to come if there's heavy disease in the area. I wouldn't travel somewhere if there was a pandemic going on here.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking of diseases, this is a horrible but great segue. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention released a youth risk behavior survey recently, right? Okay, actually it was it was this year. Okay, so what we found is this. Okay, the chart here goes from 1991 to 2017. We'll probably share this on our Facebook group page as well.
Yep.
Okay, and what this charts is youth behavior trends, and some of the trends are using marijuana, having sexual intercourse, watching TV for 3+ hours a day, smoking, drinking. Okay, and something very interesting happens on this chart, Ray. So, to give you an example, in 1991, over 71% of teens had drinking alcohol. Before,
and this is specifically like 9th and 10th graders, right? This is 14, 15, 16
9th grade,
year
14 to 15 years old. Okay, so these are 14 and 15-year-olds. Okay, over 60% had smoked at that point in their life. Over 50% were watching 3 hours of TV a day. Okay, marijuana was at 20%. Marijuana actually peaked in 1997, funny enough.
For underage usage, yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens here is in 2003, now, if I'm not mistaken, in 2003, this is when they started tracking video games or computer use per day.
Well, and that's kind of when online video games really took off.
Right. Also, I believe around that time, PlayStation 2 or 3 was released.
PlayStation. Okay? You had PlayStation 2, the original Xbox,
exactly,
and GameCube.
Xbox is the big one, right?
Yeah, and you had online gaming. Yep.
So there was a generation of consoles released around this time. Now something amazing happens from 2003 to 2012. As video game usage goes up, and it goes up like a hockey chart, goes straight up. All of the other youth behavior trends, which are risks, come down. So not only is gaming number 2 on this chart now, number 1 being alcohol, but it's on its way down. But as of today, just under 50% of kids play video games, which I think is I can't imagine I almost think
it's more than 3 hours a day. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. So more than 3 hours a day. It's like 45% of kids, and drinking is about to meet them there. But all the other ones, watching too much TV, smoking, marijuana, again, marijuana good or bad, that depends on your perspective, I guess. And then underage sexual intercourse, again, that's another one, your perspective. All now below the 30% mark, most of them at 20%. Very interesting chart. So what this means is 2 things. All of the politicians on both sides that say video games are causing problems are bullshit.
Yes, basically.
Essentially, they're helping kids do less of the bad things, okay?
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is that what's really weird is about 2013, this video game 3-hour thing, it plateaued. So it was going straight up, and then it just, for some reason, plateaued through today, which I can't explain. I don't know why it plateaued.
I don't know either.
Again, maybe it's just that's the average.
But everything else keeps going down. So
yes, so video game saves lives or keeps you from making bad decisions. You have it is proof from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention Youth Risk Behavior Survey. It's available at cdc.gov or at statistics_data_facts. We have to give that because anytime I give information like this, I like to be factually accurate. But gaming, Ray, helps.
No, it does. I mean, it definitely does. I mean, I would say. For some of these, like smoking, I would also say obviously people are smarter about smoking than ever before.
Why does it do something bad to you? Is smoking bad for you?
Yeah, most people Ray, understand that cigarettes cause cancer.
Ray, I saw an ad from the 1950s of a doctor saying that it will strengthen your lungs. Are you telling me that has been debunked?
I heard a Mike Pence 2000 article where he also believes that it still doesn't do anything.
Interesting. But you are on a political swing today, man.
Yeah,
You're
sorry.
Just living on the edge today.
I'm just saying.
I'm not doing it.
He's
I'm not
an idiot.
doing it.
Wow. Also, obviously, watching 3 hours of television a day is going to go down if instead now you're playing 3 hours of video games.
Well, here's the thing: the chart doesn't go about what happens if you play less than 2 hours a day and like sports and stuff like that. So,
right.
My point is that at the end of the day, look, gaming, sports, geeks who like sports, healthy activities, not bad things for you. Gaming can become an addiction, but that's where parenting comes in. All right,
yes.
Like that's the truth of it. It's not the kid's fault; it's the parent's fault. In my opinion.
Otherwise, you turn into me.
Yeah, no, it's not why I wouldn't mind being you, but my point is this: is like we limit my kid plays video games. He got a Switch from a very good uncle that gave him a Switch, and now my wife and son play that Switch all the time. But no, listen, we don't let him have more than a few hours a day of screen time, and it's good. Mm-hmm. And we read him books. We do a lot of stuff with my kids. Yeah. It comes down to parenting. Anyway, enough PSAs for today. Let's keep going with the geekdom.
Yes.
Right? Hopefully, we still have a listener left after your political tirades. Wow. All right.
I wouldn't call them tirades.
Well, you made it known. Now it's out there. Now it's out there. Which that's up to you. I prefer not to do that. It's not because I'm gutless. It's because I don't feel like doing it.
I didn't say you were.
Ray, stop pressuring me, Ray. All right. Oh wow! I stopped it. Ray, breathe, Ray. Okay, he's still here. All right, let's move on. I get Star Wars news. I like Star Wars.
Yes, it was revealed via the novelization of Rise of Skywalker that officially Palpatine was a clone in the film. He was another clone, just like Snoke was clones and all this other stuff. That basically, yes, clone technology is the reason why Vader did kill Palpatine on the Death Star, the second Death Star. Yay. It was a clone. So that solves some problems, solves some
nothing.
things.
It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve anything. I saw this and I'm like, whatever. So here's the thing. I'm not souring on Rise of Skywalker, but I am at a point now where this probably could have been a little bit better. Now here's the thing. Okay, yeah, he's a clone, and I guess his consciousness passed into the clone body or whatever. It didn't change the story. It was funny. I told my wife that the other night. She's like, I didn't see it yet. I'm like, you're not missing anything by knowing that. Trust me. You already know he's back from all the commercials. Real quick before I get into this, the other side of this too, it has also been revealed what Kylo's last words to Rey were before he, spoiler alert, perished to the Force.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat predictive. So he leans in as they're looking at each other after their sweet embrace, and he goes, "No one's ever really gone." And then he dies. So yeah, that's how that ended. I have a question for our followers, Ray. This will be one of our mini clips. This is important, and I need you to comment below. I have obtained the original script for Star Wars Duel of the Fates, which is the script for the original film before Rise of Skywalker was taken over.
Right.
Okay, so I have an early script of what this movie could have been, and I am told, this goes against everything I stand for, I'm told that it's really, really good. So
I've heard that as well.
The question I have is, should I read this? Ray, I'll let you be the first one to comment on this. I have the script. From what I'm told, everything I want is in this thing.
I think
should
you
I
should
do
read
it?
I think you should read it. I think you should do it.
Would you read it? Will you read it if I send it to you?
Probably not.
I'm looking at it right now. I can see it on my desktop.
You're the Star Wars guy. You need to read this.
Oh, I do, but do I? Because if I read it, and what if it's better than what happens if it's better than Rise of Skywalker?
It probably is.
I know. It's dark. Vader's in it. It's not a happy ending. I can't wait. I'm gonna read it. But no. You tell me. Comment below. Let me know. Should I read Star Wars Duel of the Fates, the original script for the 9th movie in the Skywalker saga, so I can finally put this thing to bed? Not knocking Rise of Skywalker. It had its place. It did what it needed to do.
It is what it is. It landed the plane.
Yeah. It moved it out of the way so we can move on to other things. So yes,
to the High Republic.
Yeah. No one's ever really gone, and Rey is not a clone. Palpatine's a clone, though. I can't wait for them to keep retconning stuff. Oh, also, if you're not watching, I won't spoil it, but you should start watching Clone Wars Season 7, because they are really right up to the Revenge of the Sith now, and it's starting to interact kind of with that film a little bit now. All right, so they are putting puzzle pieces together now in the Clone Wars cartoon, which you can get on Disney Plus or Cartoon Network. But check it out; it's actually doing a pretty good job right now of connecting some of the pieces they need to connect.
Nice. I actually do need to check that out. Unfortunately, I've been playing Mega Man games.
Yes,
so
not sleeping.
Yes, and not sleeping. No, hey,
I feel like Indiana Jones right now in Temple of Doom with you drinking the coffee. I feel like I'm in the spike room. Like, we are going to die. And the bugs are crawling all over you.
Yes. Yeah. No. Definitely. Yeah.
Kalima Shaktide.
I will say this: the Mega Man thing, though, it's the Mega Man Zero collection. It's filling in a gap in the timeline that I didn't know I missed, because this was originally games that came out on Game Boy Advance 20 years ago.
Oh wow!
And I didn't play a lot of portable games back then.
Why?
Because
I get it. You were in your basement.
Well, here's the thing: if I had $60 to go buy a new game, I was going to get a console game.
You didn't travel a lot back then, too. That's the thing.
Right, exactly.
Now I was on the road a lot playing hockey, so I understand. I understand that. I needed my Game Boy. Well, I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, but I had a Game Boy, and then I had a Sega
Game Gear.
Game Gear, which I loved. And then
remember
Lynx? Lynx was out for a little bit too.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. If I traveled more at that age, I mean, in my late teens, I probably would have put more stock in my portable systems. But because I was home most of the time in high school and college,
that makes sense.
I lean towards consoles.
It really is amazing that it took as long as it did for the Switch to come out. There was another something like that. I think Game Boy made something where you could connect it to your TV, but the problem was that but it was like Go ahead.
It was the Game Boy Advance GameCube adapter. You would attach it to the bottom of your GameCube, and you could play your Game Boy Advance games on your TV.
Yeah, but it was a pain in the butt, and what it did was, and you got to put yourself back in the time period. What you essentially got was just the Game Boy screen bigger.
Right.
Whereas today, it's whether you're on a 50-inch TV or the Switch, it's the same quality, right? Like portable gaming at that time they couldn't do 4K. It couldn't do 1080p.
Right. The graphics on those little processing chips were much inferior, far more inferior than what you had in your home consoles.
Yes.
So the GameCube, even though the GameCube was the weakest of the three, still leaps and bounds farther than the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. So Ray, I'm going to make you proud. Are you ready? Before
Yes.
we move on. So for those of you at home, Ray bought my son Logan a Nintendo Switch, I think on his 4th birthday, the day before the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Day after.
I'm sorry, you're right. That's right. The Eagles won the Super Bowl on the 9th, and then he gave it. I'm sorry, on the 4th of February, and then he gave it to him on the 5th of February. And this Christmas, this Hanukkah, this holiday season, Ray got him Pokemon Sword.
Yep.
Sword, right?
Pokemon Sword, yes.
Yes, which he's been loving. And I come downstairs yesterday, and he's playing. I'm like, I guess he's playing Sword. And I look over, and it's not a trainer, Ray. And there's no Pokemon. You know who I saw on the screen?
Who?
Link. And he's running around Hyrule with Link playing Zelda.
The original or or Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild. The dude's playing Zelda, and I'm like, do you even know what you're doing? He's cooking stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, my son's playing Zelda! I was so happy. I was like, are you playing Zelda? He's like, I'm playing Zelda. And you want to play Pokemon? I want to play Zelda. I was like,
This is how it starts.
and then you know what he says to me afterwards? Can we play hockey later? I was like, oh my god, oh my god. This legit happened. He was playing Zelda, then he played hockey, and
It's the best of both worlds.
I'm like, you want to do this, right, son? I'm not forcing you in this. He's like, Daddy, I want to play hockey and play Zelda, and then we can play Pokemon. I was like, oh my god.
That's you know what? I'll say that's a pretty sweet day for a 6-year-old.
It's a pretty sweet day for a 36-year-old too. That's another thing that happened this week. It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is great. So like, we have my wife and I have a how do you say it? Like one of those little signs at home. It's like a little piece of wood, and it says on it, "Don't grow up. It's a trap." Or as I read it, "Don't grow up. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap." Sorry, I couldn't find the voice there. It's a trap, right? It's a trap. And I want you all at home listening to this. If you're listening to this, you probably know that's true already, but it's true. You can be a responsible adult and also be a kid all the time, but don't let them don't ever let them take your creativity away. I think the reason why we do this is because we're very creative people.
Yes.
Right? When you lose that creativity, you've grown up. Okay. I mean, you know what? Here's some prerequisite. Go watch Willy Wonka. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. The original, the
Gene
Wilder one, the Gene Wilder one.
I forgot I didn't even need to do that. Yes.
Yeah,
the Gene Wilder one. Okay, not that the Johnny Depp one was
the Johnny Depp one. Did not watch
bad, but yeah, don't watch that or the sequel. All right, come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Zelda and hockey with Daddy. It's a heaven. Okay, we're trying to lose viewers this week.
Yeah.
Right?
Episode 46 may become the lost episode.
We'll have to retcon this next week. Welcome to episode 46 again.
Yeah.
All right.
But you mentioned obviously you and Logan's playing hockey now, which is great.
It is amazing.
I saw there was a great picture of you and him both in your Flyer jerseys. And of course, your Flyers did very well this weekend. Basically spanking my Rangers twice.
Oh, wait, is that upside down?
5-1 and then 5-3 at the Garden.
Yes, I do actually have now. Ray, we should preface this. I used to work for the New York Rangers. Okay.
So did I. Yeah.
Yes, we both did. I'm sorry. That wasn't meant to say that you didn't.
No. Okay, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just adding it in there.
So I obviously grew up in Philadelphia, so I'm a massive Flyers fan. I will always be a Flyers fan first if you ask me about what team I am. But at the end of the day, and Ray will confirm this, so that you guys know I'm not being crazy here. But I am an NHL fan first, above all. Okay, hockey comes before the Flyers for me. But I worked for the Rangers for several years. So I've got a soft spot for the Rangers, and I do care deeply about that franchise. If there was ever an exception to Flyers and Ranger fandom being together, it's probably me because of the experiences I've had. So while I want the Flyers to win these games, it's not a hatred of the Rangers. I want the Rangers to do well.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this: the first game was okay. I think the Flyers were just the better team. You were playing in Philadelphia. The Flyers are probably the best home team in the league at home. I believe they are. You're playing Carter Hart, I think he's only lost 2 games in Philadelphia. That's a tough win no matter what. It was a good game, and the Flyers won. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Rangers, it was the second game of back-to-back nights. They were in
absolutely
Montreal,
true. Yeah,
Montreal the night before, and then came and honestly, it was a good game until the third period. Where it looked like the fatigue for the Rangers really seemed to set in, and then you guys blew it open. I think it was 2-1 to start the third, and obviously you won 5-1.
Yes, yes, and I left that game thinking that's a good win for us, but don't get cocky. That was kind of my attitude, right? Mm-hmm. Because 2 days later on Sunday afternoon at noon in Madison Square Garden in New York, the Flyers will play the Rangers again on their home turf with Henrik Lundqvist in net. Now, approaching this game, I'm thinking this is going to go one of a few ways, right? Like either Lundqvist is going to be there and they're going to be great and it's going to be a good game and the Rangers might come back. Now, as a Flyers fan, this is the situation with the Flyers for those of you listening at home might not know. Flyers are in second place in the Metropolitan Division. They're surging right now. They won 5 in a row coming into this game.
3 points behind Washington.
Yeah, we are right there. We're playing Washington actually on Tuesday, so tomorrow. All right, so my attitude is this. Like, the Rangers are a hot team right now, but we should not be in a position where we're struggling against them if we're a serious team.
Yeah.
Okay. No offense to the Rangers, but that's the realistic approach of it. Okay. If the Flyers are a serious playoff team, the Rangers should not be giving them too much problem. Okay. Yeah. Now, this is what I saw on Sunday from a Rangers point of view. Flyers played great. I'm going to start off with that. Flyers played a really good hockey game. They looked like a top team in the NHL. Okay. The Rangers looked, one, undisciplined as all hell. Unbelievable amounts of shorthanded and power plays, special teams, right? 2, they left Henrik Lundqvist out to dry. Guy hasn't played in a month. You start the game by taking 2 penalties and then giving up a shorthanded goal. And you're not even giving him a chance to succeed at that point, which is downright disrespectful. All right? I also look at the coaching staff for that. Keep in mind that Lundqvist probably has, I think the only player left on that team from the Cup run is Kreider. Was he even there then?
Yeah, it was Kreider and Lundqvist are basically the only guys.
That's it, right? So there's not enough players on this team left that understand the majesty of King Henrik and his time in New York and how important he is to the NHL, which was a little messed up, I thought. He's also aging in 38. And the way I look at Henrik Lundqvist now is he's going to make the first save, but he's not going to make the most incredible second, third, fourth save anymore. That's just not where he's at anymore.
Right.
Now, the irony of this is sometime in the second period when Carter Hart, who was in net for the Flyers, was making an incredible amount of amazing saves. I had this really weird moment, Ray. I don't know if you did too, where I'm like, dude, this must be weird for the Rangers fans because they're seeing what Lundqvist did. I mean, he reminds me of a 2008, 2009 Lundqvist.
And to be fair, Hart also did that in the first game in Philly too. There were some amazing saves. Like the dude's very, very good.
Well, we have a goalie. Let's put it that way. But like he reminds me of 08, 09 Lundqvist coming into his own, and I think he's younger than Lundqvist was then. But yeah, the Flyers just really, really washed the floor with the Rangers until the third period. Rangers kind of made a short comeback, but it wasn't anywhere near enough.
It was too little, too late. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the funny part about it is it could have been catastrophic for the Rangers, but it actually wasn't too bad because every other team around you lost over the weekend.
We're basically in the same place we were going into the weekend. As we went into the weekend. So
which is really amazing if you think about it, because this is a 4 or 8 point swing for the Flyers if you really think about it, at least from the bottom of the wild card. So it'll be very interesting because the Rangers now are fighting Carolina kind of for that bottom spot, and there's a few other teams that's very close.
Carolina, Columbus, and the Islanders and us are all very much bunched together. 4 teams very much bunched together for 2 spots.
What the Flyers did was essentially take themselves out of like that danger zone. Probably for a good week or two. Most likely the rest of the season. All right, barring a massive losing streak. But Penguins are struggling. Carolina is losing. You lost. Islanders, I mean, everyone's in this really weird position down there, and the Flyers just gave themselves some breathing room, and now they're looking to go to the top of the division. But Rangers still alive. I'll be honest with you.
Only 4 points back with 17 still to play, so that's not insurmountable.
No, but this is all I'm going to say is with the loss of Igor and the loss of Kreider, I think it is going to be not in your favor now. I think those 2 players need to be there for you to win.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I mean that. It's unfortunate.
No, it's very, very true. Kreider Kreider has become the king of the garbage goal. Like he crowds the crease. He gets a lot of deflect. I think he led the league in the deflected goals this year, going into this weekend. For those of you who don't know, he broke his foot blocking a shot in the first period of the game against the Flyers on Friday.
You don't want to see that. You never want to see that.
Yeah, no.
And then Igor drove in Brooklyn for some reason. And
I still don't understand that. Bucevic is back now, but the fact that Igor's out, and I'll say this, I think it's very, very sad. But I think what we also saw yesterday with Henrik is it's not his locker room anymore. No,
that's where I was going to go with that too. He clearly doesn't have that ability. At least let me say it, on the surface from watching. We're not in the room. Reports are saying that he's being a pretty awesome guy in the locker room. Right. In terms of supporting the other two goalies, but
considering the situation,
I haven't heard anything like he's being a jerk, but it's not his locker room. And the thing is that this is what's painful for me is that these guys, and again, if I was coaching, I think I'd be all over this. And I don't know. Again, I always say this. Respect to the coaching stats. I don't know what's going on in the room. Okay, but like this guy looks very much like he's not going to be here next year the way he's going. All right, this is his opportunity to kind of shine a little bit, and I do not want to see Henrik Lundqvist going out like that. It was disrespectful, in my opinion, the amount of penalties they took. They didn't even give him a chance to get warmed up in this game. He is not known as a fast starter. Right. Okay, and the Flyers' power play is surging. The Rangers lost that game on special teams yesterday. There's no other way to look at it. Our first 3 goals were 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, no, right? Which is just sickening, and it's just especially because the Rangers' power usually penalty kill is usually one of the best in the league. But
it was tough to watch.
I'll say this again. Also, Rangers. This is this very short succession, 3 games and 4 nights. But also, I think that the Rangers hurt themselves. I get you want to have Lundqvist play in front of the home crowd.
Yeah,
I would not. I would have had Lundqvist start the game in Philadelphia because as good as Georgiev has been, it is hard for a goalie to go on back-to-back nights. Especially a young kid who's not used. Georgiev has never played this many games in his career before.
Again, the Rangers remind me a little bit of the Flyers right now, 3 years ago, where I didn't think our coach was making good decisions. I didn't think our GM was making the best decisions. It just you got to get it together. Now it's going to be an interesting time here. Like the nice thing is trade deadline's gone, so you got what you got. You can at least try guys out, and like you said, you're not out of the hunt. Okay. But here's the thing. I actually think Lundqvist is going to need to be strong for you guys to make the playoffs right now.
Yes.
And the team needs to get behind him and say, like, look, man, you make the first save, we'll do the rest. Okay? If Carolina can win a game with a 42-year-old Zamboni driver, the Rangers can win with Henrik Lundqvist in net. Yeah. But you got to be more disciplined than that. And like I said, that's what I did not see, just the lack of discipline. Switching gears real quick. Can we talk about the New York Knicks real quick, Ray? I'll tell you why I said Rick, man. Sorry.
Well, the Nick, Rick, Ray.
The Knicks, Ray. Can we talk? I'm just going to call you Rick the rest of the episode. Rick, can we talk about the Knicks?
Sure.
I have never messed up Ray's name before. That's really embarrassing. Ray, just real quick. Scott Perry is your GM.
Yeah.
And I believe he came out with a note today to the fans of New York. Right? Did you see this?
I actually haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't seen this.
I'm going to look it up real fast. I'm going to bring it up on my computer because I think it'll give you some hope. All right? GM, letter to fans. Okay? Now, I like this. The Knicks, just for you guys know, the Knicks organization has been a just complete embarrassment for the better part of a decade.
2 decades. Right? Better part of 2 decades.
Yeah, it's really bad. Okay? And I want to tell you because I'm trying to bring this up and I can't find it right now. Let me just go to Ray Santiago, who's a friend of ours who hopefully is listening to this episode. He came out with a letter that was really great, and it gave me actually. If I was a Knicks fan, I'd say this is what I want to see. Now, no Knicks fan is going to believe anything until they see it.
I was just about to say, no matter what this guy said, it's all BS until he proves it.
Yeah, well, okay. So let's just not say
I didn't have to look at the letter.
I'm going to read it to you real quick. Okay. Very quickly, because it's a little long, okay? Dear Knicks fans, and this will be live reaction for Ray, and I want you at home to listen to this too, because I think this is the right way to start a tenure, okay? I think you did it right. Dear Knicks fans, I want to take this moment to introduce myself and tell you how proud I am to oversee the historic franchise as president of the New York Knicks. I'm sorry, it's the president. This is a pivotal time in Knicks history, so I want to let you know that what can we expect from me and our organization moving forward. Having been fortunate enough to be part of professional basketball for more than 25 years, I've had the privilege of helping shape the careers of many incredible athletes throughout those decades, collaborating with key decision makers and personnel within the basketball universe. In my career as an agent, I experienced the intricacies of the league, player recruitment, and most importantly, how to develop relationships, unity, and team cohesiveness. Now, those are very important things. Right? I think it's important that he mentioned that. To be successful in the NBA, you need to have the best talent, a tireless work ethic, a winning culture, and total commitment to the development of both individuals and the team. That is spot on. For a GM to say that for a president to say that is really important. I don't hear that a lot, and you know that's my line of work. Okay? I know that the ability to forge solid, productive relationships is what binds all of this together. For the remainder of this season, I will work tirelessly behind the scenes while evaluating every aspect of the organization. Most immediately, we will support Mike Miller, his staff, and our team, who have plenty of basketball left to be played this season. I want to thank Mike for his continued leadership and professionalism during this period. Essentially saying you're not going to be here next year. Right? Our team has young talent, significant future assets, including 7 first-round picks over the next 4 years, an ample amount of financial flexibility in the coming years. Everyone from the ownership to athletes to staff, and especially our fans, wants this team to be a winner. We will have all the resources necessary to create a great organization, one that supports our efforts to build a winning culture and give Knicks fans in the city of New York the team you deserve. Nothing about this is easy or quick. This is cool. So I ask for your continued patience, which is gutsy to ask New York fans.
Yep.
What I promise you in return is that I will be honest and forthright. We will develop a plan that makes sense, both to jumpstart our short-term growth and ensure our long-term success. Our team will work hard, stick together, and ensure that we will live up to the honor of wearing the New York Knicks jersey. While I realize that there have been difficulties on the court, what has been remarkable to me is that your pride remains so strong, your loyalty undiminished. Rest assured, I will do everything I can to create a winning organization. I look forward to seeing you at the Garden. That's a pretty good letter, Ray.
It's really nicely done. It's really well written, really good. Like you said, though, I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, here's the thing. All right, Steve Mills is the Knicks president. I apologize for that overseeing, but Steve Mills. Okay, this is what I'll tell you. One is that I have seen Knicks fans starting to abandon that team recently, which is something I never thought I'd see. But that's how bad they've been for how long.
It's been 20 years.
It's been 20 years.
And they haven't won a championship in almost 50.
Well, 99 was really the last time you guys had a solid team, right?
2000. I would say honestly 2000. I mean, they had a briefly with Amari there. They had a decent run 1 year, but they of the past 20, I think they did it. I think they came up the past 20 years. The Knicks have the worst winning percentage in the league.
Well, here's what I'll say. All right, is that I am with you 100%. Action speaks louder than words, but that is a good first step. I love it when president, anyone. I keep messing up the titles here. I love it when people come out and put themselves on around. No, I'm very good at it. I don't want to start blabbering politics with you. I love it when a GM, I did it again, when a president comes out and says that. It makes himself vulnerable to the fan base. It says, I'm going to try and do my best. That's what I would do if I was a president or GM, which I've done in the past. You got to come out. You got to get that fan base back, because I'll tell you what, no one wants to play for an empty MSG. All right. I will also say this. I also worked for the Knicks for a time period, as you know, and it was one of my favorite fan bases that I've ever interacted with. Knicks fans, just like Ranger fans, are a different breed. Okay, New York sports is just different. I don't know how else to tell you that. And I'm not a fan. Remember, I'm from Philadelphia, and I've visited cities all over the country, and every fan base has its nicks and knacks. But New York is a special place. All right, Madison Square Garden is a magical place. And I would love, even though I'm a Sixers fan, I would love to see the Knicks come back to dominance, because as Ray has always said, New York's actually a basketball town, or at least it used to be, right? But New York is a basketball town when you think about the culture of the area. I mean, people love their football, they love their hockey, love their baseball, but it could be a basketball town again. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on that. And again, knowing that you have to see it, Ray, I'm with you. But what are your thoughts on that letter?
It was, like you said, it is a good letter. If we hadn't had so much failure the past 2 decades, it would be a letter that would make me feel good. But at this point, it's hard. It's hard not to feel like it's just smoke being blown up my butt. Like, it just at this point, like I would rather I don't want to hear from you. I want to see you do something.
Sure.
Look, like you said, it's a nice effort. It's putting your best foot forward. But until they start winning some games, I just don't care.
And that is New York summed up. I agree. Look, here's the thing. I grew up in like New York shadow, like every city on the East Coast. And I'll tell you this, is that whether you love it or hate it, New York expects to win every year. Now, what's funny is when you leave New York, there are fan bases out here that understand that's not reality. All right? Most of us understand that's not reality. But New York expects to win. And that's not just in sports, to be fair. That's everything. Yes. Okay? And I've always said this. My time in New York has really sharpened me in my teeth. And it did give me that mentality. But I'm also glad that I'm from blue-collar Philadelphia, which is a very different mentality. I've always said the difference between New York and Philadelphia, and I'm not saying one's better or worse, although you can decide at home, is New York loves a superstar and Philadelphia loves a hard worker. And people in New York have, we love hard workers. I'm like, not as much as you love superstars, right? You love the glitz and the glam of a Henrik Lundqvist, right? You love the glitz and the glam. And these guys work hard. I'm not taking that away, but there's star power, right?
Right.
I'm not going to go over all the mistakes New York teams have made searching for that. But New York fans, if you're listening, you dive in, even when sometimes the athlete shouldn't be that way. We're talking about the Knicks, Marbury. Right?
Yeah, no, I know. Right? I mean, for sure. I mean, especially the Knicks in particular have been the worst offender at this.
The Rangers were horrible at this in the 90s. All right, the Yankees have made their mistakes. Okay,
well, to be fair though, at least the Rangers of the '90s were still good, right? Like, the Rangers gave up a lot. They tried to pick apart like the Devils. They got Gretzky at the end of his career. Like, but they still
early 2000s. You're right. You're absolutely right.
The 2000s Rangers. Yes,
when you got Lindros and you got Yager,
yes, that was
going for star power.
Yeah, I mean, at least Yager would help to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, if A-Rod never won with you guys, you'd still be talking trash on him. You guys.
Oh, I mean, that's why we're talking about Giancarlo Stanton now, who got hurt already and is going to be available for opening day for the Yankees.
Coffee's wearing off, Ray.
Oh, this freaking bum.
Coffee's wearing off.
Oh, I can't. I hate Giancarlo Stanton. I can't stand him. It's so terrible.
In Philadelphia, guys like Keith Primo are revered, who is a nobody on any other team. Okay, or a John Kruk. All right. These are not guys that could make it in New York. All right. So and I could keep. I mean, Iverson was perfect for Philadelphia, although he was a star too. But hard
he
work.
was a superstar.
Yeah. We when he tried. Here's the thing funny about Philadelphia. When he did that whole practice, we talk about practice. The city turned on him.
Yeah.
Right?
No. But
for lots of different reasons.
I also do want to say though. I mean, as much as we like a superstar, yes, there are examples of us liking hard work too, and especially for those of us, Jersey kind of toes the balance because that's where I'm from.
Jersey toes the balance. Here we go. Let's jump in the rabbit hole. You took the blue pill.
Because look for the Knicks in the '90s, right? Ewing was the superstar.
Yes,
but everybody loved John Starks and Charles Oakley,
and what I'm saying is that Starks and Oakley in Philadelphia's environment are bigger than Ewing. All right.
Right.
I can prove that. Again, look at the Flyers. Like Claude Giroux, superstar. Yeah. Right? And you'd be shocked how critical people in Philadelphia are of this guy. Yeah. Right? Like he's lazy. He's not.
No, I've heard it. Yeah, no, right? I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not ridiculous. That's Philadelphia. All right? And again, that'd be like me saying that your love for superstars is ridiculous. It's just different. That's all I'm trying to say. All right? I mean, like here's one of them's paid off more than the other. I'm not going to say which. All right, long term. All right, but if I had 12 teams here, I'd win once in a while too. To be fair,
yes.
All right, or 13 now that you got the Guardians. Anyway, all right, I haven't even included your soccer teams in there. I'm just saying, different strokes for different folks. Again, you go to different cities, or you go to the Midwest or the West, totally different environment. Totally different environment. Like the Seattle hockey team, they never even won a game. Their fans love them. They've never even won a game.
Yeah, they don't even know what the team name is.
They don't even have a name. Oh, by the way, great name submission by Travis Bowman. Right? We've been talking about the Seattle Kraken. Everybody likes that. There's another name that's more obvious, the Seattle Grind.
Oh.
That makes sense on so many levels. It makes sense on so many levels.
Oh, my God. The coffee, the metropolitan, the area. Oh,
it's a
Travis had a good idea.
Yes, but
good for Travis.
It won't happen because nothing smart happens when we do these things. Seattle Grind.
Unfortunately.
Think about the jersey. Green and brown? No, let's not do that. Anyway, we were talking about the Guardians. Maybe we should transition into XFL.
Yeah, we should get over to the XFL for sure. It was an interesting weekend in the XFL. The Tampa Bay Vipers get their first victory over Lee's Washington, D.C. Defenders. They shut them out. D.C. looked terrible.
They did. They really did.
the Tampa Bay gets off to Schneid. Now, every team in the league now has at least one win. Houston knocked off Dallas. They knocked out Landry Jones, who looked really bad early on anyway. But Houston is the only undefeated team still now, 4-0. The Guardians, speaking of the Guardians, our third-string quarterback is now our first-string quarterback after McGloin continues to be terrible and can't do anything with the offense. And our third-string quarterback now came in, put up 17 points with our defense, the Guardian defense. And this is a New York thing. Defense first with football. Yep. I don't care that our coach is an offensive-minded guy. Defense wins championships. We want good defense. The Guardians in every game they've been in have played good defense, but you do have to score points at some point. They beat LA 17-14, which is a big win to get back to 500. And then St. Louis, the Battle Hawks, more like the Ball Hawks, their defense continues to be stellar, intercepting passes, knocking off Jim Zorn's clueless Seattle Dragons, who fall to 1-3, and St. Louis continues to rise up, showing again why they probably deserve football in that city, because their fan base is just rabid.
Oh, it's awesome. So here's some interesting facts for you guys about the XFL right now. Now, excluding the Vipers-Defenders game, every single game was a one-score game. All right, there's clear parity. The fact the Vipers won, I'll take the higher on this. There's clear parity, right? The Vipers beat a very good Defenders team, and they shut them out. There's a lot going on here people need to pay attention to. That is, and this was our big talk before. We talked about after week 4, you can start to make determinations, right?
Yep.
Our biggest fear of the XFL was the talent of the football, right? The talent and the football. It's good football. It's fun to watch. Every one of these games came down to the last second. The XFL rules are awesome about that.
Yeah.
Right? Except for the Vipers Defenders. Darn it. All right. I want you, if you're not watching this, you should check it out. It's good football. Again, every game is close. There's parity throughout the league. While the Roughnecks are undefeated, you never know now, especially with the way DC went down, who's going to win. Now, DC, little controversy here, and this is what's funny about kind of the XFL's open mic stuff, is that there are players asking for other players to be benched, and it's public now, right? So it adds a whole new dynamic. So, you break up your team bond, that could go down really quick.
Yeah.
But big win for the Vipers. Anytime you see a team go 0-3, you start to worry, maybe these teams aren't going to win, and, it's a new league. Week 4 is done. Every game is close, and they're not super blowout scores. Good defense. If you're a fan of football, and their whole slogan's for the love of the football.
Yep.
I think they're living up to that.
No, for sure. I mean, it's good quality football. I mean, and that's the thing is you look at the standings. St. Louis is in first place in the East. Houston is in first place. So the Houston is starting to pull away with the West. But it's only a 10-game season. And that's the reason why we can kind of start talking about playoffs a little bit. Defenders and Guardians are tied for the second playoff spot in the East. The Renegades are only a game up in the West. Like, everybody's still in it. Everybody's very, very competitive. Like Lee said, the parity is terrific. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. It is. Like, it's not as, I don't know. Like, it's not as appointment television as the NFL. But like, you'll throw it on the TV and you'll sit and you'll watch, and it's solid football. Well, you got some guys that I think the NFL are going to poach, because like you've got like the 6'8" tight end down in Dallas. Yeah. Like, the dude's got hands. The dude's huge. I'm gonna be genuinely shocked if this guy doesn't end up on an NFL team at some point.
Well, here's the other thing too. The only reason why it's not appointment television is because the teams haven't garnered the loyalty yet from the fan bases, and I understand that, especially being the first season.
Right.
But as time goes on, I mean, except for St. Louis.
Yes.
St. Louis has completely made this their football. This is their NFL team now.
Yeah.
So Ray, some interesting stats for you, real quick, just to give you the idea of parity here. Okay. And how you never know who's going to win in football. So the DC Defenders, my team, now lead the league in touchdowns against. Okay? They are also second from the bottom in touchdowns for. That's how quickly this turned around on them, right? Yeah. The Vipers are in last place. Now, here's what's funny about this. TDs against. DC Defenders have 12. Do you know who number 2 is in TDs against?
Who?
The Houston Roughnecks. The undefeated team.
Who are 4-0, wow.
Right, okay. But they also lead by a little bit of a wide margin touchdowns for. Okay,
right.
But
they win a lot of high scoring games. They score a lot of points.
Right. So now the best defense in the league is St. Louis. It's going to be really interesting when Houston meets St. Louis, and we'll kind of see if one of them has an advantage on each other.
Right.
But yeah, it's just really fun. It's really fun to watch. It's tough not to root for St. Louis now. I'm rooting for their fan base because I think their fan base got royally screwed.
Yes.
Almost like a Bret Hart.
Screw job. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Which is a great WWF XFL analogy.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. You never know what's going to go on. Houston, St. Louis are leading the pack, but man, this is fun. And here's the thing: if Houston loses next week, they're tied with the Battlehawks depending on what they do. But Houston plays Seattle, so that's probably going to be a win for them. Seattle plays the Defenders, and then obviously Dallas Renegades versus New York and Tampa Bay at LA. It'd be interesting. If you're not watching, check it out. Just check it out. It's fun to watch. If you like football, check it out.
There's more interesting storylines in the XFL than there is in WWE right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's always for sure with this right now.
I just want to briefly mention, of course, Goldberg, 50-something-year-old Goldberg.
Won't go away.
Is Universal Champion now after beating The Fiend.
Stupid. Just what are you doing?
I had just started getting back into wrestling, and now I don't want to watch again because it's stupid stuff like this. I get it.
What do you think?
It was the Saudi Arabia show. Like, whenever you go to Saudi Arabia, you put over your old guys because they're 20 years behind the times when it comes to wrestling. But it's like you have the hottest gimmick in wrestling right now is The Fiend. And you bury him to Goldberg, who didn't even look that good wrestling, by the way. He barely was able to do his signature moves, the jackhammer.
The last time I saw him, he was doing a TV show, like a car TV show.
Yeah, it's really bad, and this is why AEW is taking off. By the way, terrific, amazing match this weekend. Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. Moxley got over. Jericho, though, showing why that if you just gave him some creative freedom, he's still the best in the world, baby!
Yeah. Well, he's never gotten the amount of praise that he deserves for his actual wrestling ability. Like, one of the things about WWE and wrestling in general, and you can go all the way back to WWF, is I think the ability to wrestle has never really been discussed well enough, like the actual talent behind it.
Yeah.
Because there are some superstars that were not great. Right,
nope.
And then there's been some guys that were not great in terms of huge, and they were unbelievable wrestlers. That's part of the business, though. But yeah, it's interesting that they let the Fiend lose that title to Goldberg. Like Goldberg's time outside of when he was in WCW. I mean, when he lost his first match, I remember that was a humongous deal. For those of you who don't follow wrestling, Goldberg's gimmick back in the 90s was he couldn't lose. He went some unbelievable 50,
like
200
matches in a row or something.
Yeah, he just couldn't lose, and then he eventually lost, and like that hurt his brand quite a bit. But when the WWF at the time and WCW merged, he didn't come over.
Yeah,
and that was for me the end of it. Like which
Sting, a few others.
Yeah, Sting is another great example. I mean, there's a few other guys. I mean. Most of the NWA, but like even Hogan came back. But like the point is like that was kind of the end of the storyline for me with him. For him to show up now, I don't. What is the point of that? What's the story behind that? He's just wants to wrestle again. When you said it, the Fiend is great. What are you doing, guys?
Yeah.
Is this what you want us talking about? Is that why you're doing it?
No, I mean even that. They did Goldberg a couple of years ago before they put him in the Hall of Fame.
It's just like bringing The Rock back now. It's like just don't need it.
Yeah, it's just it's yeah. Anyway.
Here's the thing. Here's the last thing on this. Okay, is and think about this is actually really amazing. Think about how big The Rock was. All right, we're talking top 3 probably maybe all time wrestler here, right? In terms of name, right?
Yeah.
And he is such a big superstar today outside of wrestling that when he shows up in the WWE, I see Dwayne Johnson now. Yeah. I don't see The Rock anymore. That is a massive statement.
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember early on in his acting career, it was, there's The Rock acting. Now here's DJ coming back to the... So that's amazing that he was able to transcend that. I don't think any other wrestler's ever been able to do that, actually. Okay? So that's one thing when you think about it. Right, and it's just like Goldberg. I see him now. I'm like, it's like, what is? You're not a wrestler anymore.
No, you're just an old dude, man. Like,
yeah, all respect to your career, man. Complete respect to your career.
I mean, for sure. If you come back as a legend or whatever and do like a promo or whatever.
What the hell
is
the WWE doing? What are you doing? No, I can see some parent like saying to their, "Who's that, Daddy?" Yeah, it's Goldberg.
Yeah, like to put the strap on him was just.
What are you doing?
Terrible, absolutely terrible, and that's why, honestly, actually, the best thing going in WWE right now is the women's division.
Absolutely, and they deserve it.
Yep, because they're the only ones who have good stories anymore. And they're also great wrestlers. They are fantastic.
Long overdue.
Fantastic show. I absolutely love Bayley, and but yeah, Houston undefeated in the XFL. But you know what? Houston is also leading, Lee? The Houston Astros are leading the league in spring training and hit by pitches. How about that?
Am I smiling? I can't tell.
Yes, you are smiling, my friend.
Usually, here's the thing. Okay, I gotta be the coach about this. No one's aiming for the head yet, which is good. Yep. I don't want to see anybody seriously injured. I don't mind this at all.
Nope.
They deserve it. The fans are heckling them. And we talked about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about the lack of punishment from MLB. And I think I did say, and you can correct me if you don't remember this, but I think I did say that the amount of hatred they're going to get from other teams in the fan base might be a punishment in itself. And they deserve this. Fans are being relentless to them. Yeah. And here's the thing. Some of the Astros are talking back. You guys need to keep your mouth shut.
Yep.
And if anything, make a good example for kids out there of you got caught. Doesn't matter if you were on the team. If you're an Astro, you're part of that history. And you guys need to take it on the other cheek right now. When warranted, okay?
Yes.
No one should be spitting on you or hitting you in the head. Okay?
Yeah, or any kind of slurs or anything like that.
Yes, okay? But verbal abuse or people heckling you about that, deal with it.
Yep.
Okay, take it on the chin. We talked about this. It's like I said this before. Like Jeremy Roenick, who was fired from NBC, right? Yep. He said something controversial. He admitted it. It wasn't that bad. I don't. For those of you, I'm not going to get totally into it. It wasn't.
No.
In my opinion,
I've heard much worse.
Yeah. In my opinion, what he said was inappropriate, but not catastrophic.
Yes.
He fully owned up to it. He ate his punishment. He took it on the chin. And they still fired him, and I thought that was unfair. But he was a professional about that.
Yeah.
Don't talk back to the fans, Astros. Deal with it. If anything, you know what, Ray? You know this. How do you shut them up?
Win.
Go win the World Series again.
Yep.
Save some face with that.
Yep.
Okay, if you're good enough.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah. Go win and shut up. I don't want to hear from you guys again. All right. You've lost your ability. I am tired of baseball breaking my heart. You have lost any kind of reference with me. You have your own fans. For half of your games this year, you'll have a nice fan base. The other half, you are going to be heckled to hell, and you're going to deal with it. Because that's what happens when you cheat.
Yeah, that's it. Honestly, I mean, we've talked about it before on the show. Like, to me, the players who have been implicated in this should be banned from baseball the same way that Pete Rose is banned and the Black Sox players are banned and everything else, because it's the same level of, I mean, if anything, we've talked about this before, Pete Rose should be back in baseball. I'm sorry. Like, we
all agree on that. I don't know anybody who doesn't agree with that anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he served his sentence. He has. Yeah. Like, he wasn't cheating. He bet on his own teams to win.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like he threw a game like the Black Sox did. He was betting on his own teams to win. Like, anyway, sorry. It just, the fact that, again, the Houston Astros, that the union, that the players union, and Tony Clark, every time I used to love Tony Clark as a player, and now to see him as one of the union representatives and be like, well, there's nothing that we can do, that the players, there's the players are at fault here, it's completely the organization, the baseball did exactly what it was supposed to do. Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up! You are hurting the game beyond belief to protect a few guys.
Yeah.
You are literally sacrificing not only the potential viability for all the players playing currently, but also the players who can come into the league in the future. Not to mention all the guys whose careers were ruined or damaged or sidetracked. Aaron Judge should have an MVP. I mean, all the guys who left baseball, the pitchers who got rocked because of knowing that when they were throwing a curveball and an Altuve, little 5'6" Altuve's like, oh, I can tee off on this one. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Tony Clark, go. Oh, my God.
Beep. All right. Coffee's
I didn't say anything.
Coffee's wearing off. Pessimistic Ray's coming back. Look, again, I agree with you, Ray. And here's the testament to the fans of baseball. I'm a fan of the fans. Baseball is such a pastime in this country that I feel like we've been cheated on 3 or 4 times, and we keep going back.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll come back again. Most sports leagues are like this, to be fair. I mean, this is how the NHL survives horrendous lockouts. Do better.
Yeah.
Do better for your fan base. Please. Okay? There's no fans. There's no money. And it is not good enough to have the attitude of, well, they'll come back no matter what. All right? That's not good enough. And the organizations that do that, looking at you, Marlins, look what you've done to your fan base. You don't have one.
Yeah.
All right? You
Marlins,
pushed them enough.
Pittsburgh.
Right. So baseball as a whole still has its following, okay? But do better. That's what I'm going to say. Do better.
Yep.
All right? I have worked in sports. Ray knows this. I have worked in sports at many different positions and many different levels. My need and want to make sure that our team won was there, but it was also to make sure that our fans knew that we were doing everything that we could to win without cheating.
Yeah.
Right? It was not far from my mind, okay? I think any GM, president, or anybody who thinks that fans don't matter is crazy, okay? They do matter. You don't have to listen to their opinion on how to play the game or coach the game. I've always stood by that. I'm not going to listen to a guy in Section H, Row 5, Seat 2, because he feels like telling me. I don't have to listen to you about how to play a game or coach a game, but I do need to make sure that you understand we're trying to do everything we can to win.
Yeah.
Because this is your team at the end of the day. Yeah. That's my attitude. Do better. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm a low-level whatever. Do better.
Yeah. Unbelievable. In minor, small good news for baseball, though. They did pass a resolution to raise the salaries of all minor league players starting next season.
Well, thank God, because it's not an easy life. God knows that.
No, yeah. So that is one positive for them. Obviously, still overshadowed by all the terrible negative. By the way, executive director of the MLBPA. That is the official title of Tony Clark, the executive director.
I'll tell you this, Ray. This will be interesting. Now, everybody listening knows I'm a humongous hockey fan first. All right, I do like baseball, but hockey's first, football second for me. I've actually never wanted a baseball season to start faster, because I hate hearing about this stuff every day. And what I mean is I'm very excited about the Phillies, don't get me wrong, but like I want it to start so we don't have to hear this.
Yeah. Start talking about the games that matter and stuff.
Like get out of this conversation. I know we're talking about it, kind of have to with the show, but it's like I actually want the season to start so we can get back to at least loving the game a bit, because like no one's going to be cheating this year, at least I hope not. All right, and like I just want to move past this and move on with my life. All right.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious to see what happens once the games start to matter. What happens?
Yeah.
I still think that the Astros are going to get plunked a bit, not as much because obviously when the games matter, you don't want base runners. But if it's like if somebody's beating Houston 10-0 or losing to Houston 10-0, you might see a couple extra doinks here or there.
Yeah.
I
just can't get Chapman's face out of my head.
Yep.
After that hit. Anyway, listen.
Yeah. No, the Yankees, the Dodgers, a few teams got screwed a couple times by the Astros.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to have 2 Chapmans? Or 2 judges?
Yeah, it would be. Actually, that leads us into our mashup for the
Boom! Yes. All right, there's the polarity. Switching back to positive.
There we go. So we talked about Star Wars clones and Clone Wars in the middle of the show. And obviously, we're talking about sports now. So we want to know from you guys, what player, currently or historically, would you love to clone and have on your current team? Now, you might have to consider, like, would they fit into today's game?
I think we consolidate this, if that's okay with you. It's what player from your team's history would you clone?
Right.
Right? I don't want to clone, like, Babe Ruth to my... You know what I mean? So it's got to be a player from your team's history.
But even that, I don't think I would clone the Babe. I don't think the Babe could handle today's game.
Well, it depends if he's a Greek god or not, for real.
Yeah.
Because like I was thinking about this to myself. You like this, right? I was thinking like might be nice to have 2 Bryce Harpers in the Phillies. That would be a really big deal.
Yeah.
Right. I would clone Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Right. He would totally still work today.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Right.
I mean, and out of baseball,
he could play because it's not Pete Rose. It's cloned Pete Rose. He's not kicked out of baseball.
Cloned Pete Rose makes the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That'd be. Can you imagine that fight? I mean, Pete Rose would fight himself big time.
Oh,
well, you shouldn't have bet on the games, buddy. You did that. I'm a clone. I didn't do anything.
Yep.
I'm only 20 days old.
I would clone Lawrence Taylor for the Giants.
Ooh, yeah. You like hurting quarterbacks though.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he might hurt a couple He might get a few extra penalties now that he wouldn't have gotten then.
Right.
But I think that we will take what he could do to disrupt the team on the field. I think we would risk that, especially now that the Giants have switched to a 3-4, which is what Taylor played in, obviously, under Bill Belichick.
Yeah, it's a good pick, man.
Just one of the greatest linebackers, if not the greatest linebacker of all time.
Which brings me to the next point, children. Don't do crack.
Yes. Although, yeah, like it's like me. Don't
Water
drink
boy
coffee.
Yeah, no, that's from the Water Boy. That's a
I-
big
yeah.
LT welcome to Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
All right, so we've done football, we've done baseball. We should do hockey and basketball. I think in basketball for the Sixers, it's Julius Erving. I mean, he still work today for the Sixers, right?
Yeah.
Dr. J is a good one. Ray, what about Nick? I mean, Nick, would it be Ewing or would you go back to the guys that won back in the 50s?
Oh, I mean, yeah, would like Willis Reed or something? No, I would still have Ewing. I would still have Ewing there,
and also he's the best player of all time, right?
Yeah, I would still pick Ewing as a Knicks fan, and that too. Also, for baseball, real quick, I would have Jeter come back. I said I wouldn't take the Babe. Fair. Obviously, Jeter would come. I would Jeter.
Jeter represents so much. By the way, I think I'd have to go with Wilt Chamberlain now over Dr. J just because he scored 100 points in a game. I'm thinking about this now more with the Sixers. The thing with Jeter is Jeter was everything that was good about everything. Now, I was going to say the Yankees, but everything. Baseball, the Yankees, everything. I mean, he is probably top 5 all-time people in sports.
Yeah. Not a great owner, but...
Well, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
He's not a great owner yet.
That's true.
Right? We don't,
a lot of
time. We
time.
know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's sometimes those guys don't translate. But Jeter's a great pick for the Yankees, Ray. Obviously, if you're listening at home, let us know your team and who you'd pick. We have to do hockey.
Yeah.
I think yours has to be pretty obvious.
Really?
Has to be. Yeah, there's no one else you can pick.
I mean, my first instinct is Messier.
Yeah, but there's no one else to pick.
Yeah. Well,
if you could bring back him today, I'd still have him today.
I mean, no, for sure. I mean, as a leader, as a goal scorer, like as a.
I'll let you have 2 picks though. I'll let you have another pick because it's too obvious, and you can't say Gretzky.
Well, no, I wasn't going to pick Gretzky. I would say
I would pick Gretzky if I would. No, I'm saying, but he's defaulted because he's like it's a Deadpool situation.
Exactly. I mean, especially also you got to remember. Gretzky's an Oiler to me, right? Like Gretzky finished his career with us, but like he wasn't the Gretzky.
We're cloning the whole career, right? So like it's too obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so I mean,
too obvious. So
I would pick for my second pick either Leach or Richter.
Not Gravy.
Oh,
Adam Graves, you forgot about him.
Yeah, I would still pick Leach over Graves. I might put Graves over Richter, but to me,
Richter's tough. Richter's a tough pick.
Well, because the thing is,
for today too.
If it wasn't for Richter's injuries, I do believe Richter would have been an all-time great goalie.
Well, he is.
He is, but I mean, like,
I know what you're saying.
The longevity of his career was shortened because of concussions and because he blew out both his knees. Like it just
That's true. That's true.
If he stayed healthy,
I think Leach though. Leach never gets his fair due. Is like people in New York know who he was and how good he was, but I don't think the NHL has ever appreciated Leach.
Brian, no,
because he is. I mean, he was the major part of that team. He won the Conn Smythe that year. It's the best.
Yeah, people forget. People forget how good. That's the thing. I mean, especially because a defenseman it's not the sexy position in hockey, right? But Brian Leach was he as much as Messier was the leader. Leach was probably like the soul of that team.
Oh yeah,
right?
well, he's better in the playoffs than him. Yeah, interesting. I mean, if we turn to the Flyers, it's tough. I mean, the obvious choices are the Bobby Clarks and stuff, but I don't know if he'd work well in today's game. Or Reggie Leach, another Leach in hockey.
Yeah,
the Rivelton rifle. But if I had to pick a Flyer to come back, I mean, I might pick Lindros just to see what that looks like. Although he probably wouldn't be that great today's NHL. Yeah, it's a tough one. And I like Simone Gagne. No, he definitely wouldn't do well in today's NHL. Yeah, he did really well a long time ago. But no, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Probably. I mean, I'd probably have to pick one. Hockey's tough because you got to pick modern players.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I mean, we had Paul Coffey here. I wouldn't want a young Paul Coffey to be.
No, for sure. No, I mean that's just it. We're very fortunate. We've both had some great players over our history. Not a lot of championships, but we've had some great players.
But let us know who you'd pick.
Yes.
If you had to pick a player to clone from your organization's history, you can do any sport. Let us know the city, the name, and why.
Yes. Let us know below. Yes. Thank you. And yes. And that's I think that was a good mashup this week.
That was very good.
Yes.
Good idea, Ray.
Thank you. Once in a while I have one.
Every Tuesday. Well, only on years with February 29th.
Yes. Well, I think the coffee is officially worn off for me.
It definitely has. Yeah, I can see it. If you're watching this, look at his eyes now and rewind back to the beginning of the episode and then come back to here. Yeah, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Go to bed, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I got to the point where I realized it was, oh my goodness, it's 5:30 in the morning. I tried to sleep, and I'm like, you know what? I better not. I better just power through.
Sure. You know what happened if I did that with kids? I would die.
Right. Yeah. So that's the advantage. That's the thing is that like I'll be okay.
Actually, I've done it with my kids. My kids have kept me up all night before. That's a lie. I could do it. Ray, I could do it.
I believe in you, Lee.
I wouldn't do it well, but I could do it.
Yes.
I'd grow hair back if I tried doing it. I would. No, that was a lie.
That doesn't.
We should probably end this.
That's not how that works. Yeah.
Maybe. Well, let's just go for another hour. I want to see how bad this can get.
I think we can get pretty. For geeks who like.
So, what I want to say is that the Star Trek wars were bad, and Megasonic and Super Mario Tails are friends of mine. Lee, do you have a pink lightsaber? We need more pink lightsabers. I'm going to bed.
On that note, thank you everybody who are listening. If you've listened to this entire episode, we really appreciate it. Of course, email us geekswholiksports@gmail.com. Join the Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram. Just Google us. We're everywhere podcasts can be heard. We appreciate everybody who's been listening to us. It means a lot. Geekswholiksports.com.
We really do appreciate you. It's not a joke. Sorry to cut you off. If you're listening, we really, really appreciate it. It means a lot that we've helped find an audience for this.
Yes, no, for sure. It really does mean a lot. We really do appreciate it. But for Lee, I'm Ray. This has been episode number 46 of Geeks Who Like Sports. We will talk to you next week, everybody.